What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of PT Postmortem. I am Swaggy Dr. Kush with my co-host, Mr. Doctor. What's going on, Doc?
I'm doing good. I think I'm running off a bit more sleep now than I was for the past previous days. That was fantastic English there, but you get the gist. We're back with the postmortem podcast. We're going to discuss the events that has happened this Saturday and the Saturday upcoming, and it's been hectic already, and waves have been made even at the very start of UFC 5. It's mental how close some of the fights were and how good people looked, especially saying they haven't exactly been in the title picture that long or that recently coming from 4.
Yes, and this past Saturday was crazy at the Xbox Grand Prix. We saw exactly what Doc was just talking about firsthand. Even starting in the first fight, we saw a very one-sided fight, but high level from one side, and that was mix-ups versus Fonte, who this is his second week in a row. Fonte got his ass whooped, so this week off will be really good for Fonte. But mix-up showed a very, very high-level strategy going into it, and that's exactly what a lot of these fighters are showing coming into UFC 5, that they already have the fight IQ and they just need to figure out how this IQ is going to work here. And a lot of them have already figured it out, Doc.
Yeah, a lot of them have. If you want to talk about fight IQ, you got Ginger versus Ben Jammy with his sub of the night performance there. Very slick entries across the board, getting the RNC, I believe it was at the very end. That was It was very slick. It was one of the only real sub attempts we saw throughout the night. Seems like normally people are wanting to risk the subs for the position, although you can still maintain the position quite well. So I'm really intrigued to see how the positions develop across the game, because so far, even in my experience, I'm not sure about yourself, they're really enjoyable. Like a standing gilly, if you go for a standing gilly, you pull guard and then you roll over into mount, and suddenly it's so much better than what it has been in previous games. So I'm really interested in seeing how the meta forms around using submissions as well.
Well, going into that, that wasn't the only submission gone for. We also have, which I think was the upset of the night, Apollo going for a flying armbar against Bossman. Oh no, I think Apollo actually lost that fight, but
Yeah,
but
Boss
he
Man won
he
it.
taught he tossed in a gorgeous flying armbar, and it was such a close fight. And the flying armbar came out of absolutely nowhere. Doc even missed it, and it came out of nowhere. It was insane, but yeah, like the submission meta is definitely growing as we go, and I feel like we're gonna see a lot more submissions, especially against people that are known strikers like Ben Jammy. Ben Jammy's a fucking boxer. He's a fight night guy, and he's been doing very good in the space on the feet. But as Ginger proved, there's levels to this on the ground, and
Yeah, especially as you mentioned for strikers, it's even more important now to have a good understanding of the ground if you want to be competitive there, because the game is an MMA game after all, and in previous titles you could kind of get away with not knowing the ground as much, but now if you get put into a submission, you need to know what you're doing, otherwise you will end up getting tapped, and that's just kind of the way it goes right now. If both of you are very inexperienced, then it's going to be a hectic joy of just who's going to get it. But if both of you are experienced, you end up playing again that chess battle, which the ground game's more known for, I would argue.
yeah, definitely. It's more of a waiting game down there now, which gets me into our next one. Oladipo absolutely mollywhopping Blackout, which was another upset. And when I say mollywhopped, I don't mean like striking mollywhopped. I mean Oladipo came in. The first thing he did was take him down, and he immediately worked for the sub, finishing Blackout on the ground, which was gorgeous,
Yeah,
and
no,
completely
Ali.
caught everybody off guard with that.
Yeah, no, you're completely right there. Ali came out, he looked impeccable. He came in the right fight IQ. I've always said in the past when it comes to the B3 boys, it's illegal to grapple them because they put on such entertaining fights that you don't want to get that loss. But if you're looking at it from a purely strategic fight IQ way, Ali did exactly what you need to do against someone of the B3 camp is you take him down, you work the grappling, you find a hole for the sub. That is it. You don't mess about on the feet, and even when he did get to feet, I think, as you mentioned, at one point he landed the flying knee, which was a bit insane, but then it was straight back to the mat again, and it was just that rinse and repeat. He really put on a hell of a performance and was consistent, even in later rounds when he saw other names like Webbo, and then later on against Fad, for example, where he proceeded to get a fight of the night, if I'm remembering correctly. I believe he got a fight of the night. That should be up on our YouTube as well soon. But
So it's funny you bring Webbo up. It's a nice time to transition into side control and talk about this week's scum bucket of the week. Which is Webbo, because how you come into a high level competition like a primetime Grand Prix and say, you know what? Fuck everything else. I don't need anything else. All I need is side control. All I need is to get into side control and just work that all fight.
So the way
you do,
it's actually kind of genius how he does it though. Once you know the mechanics of it, so he undeniables the neon belly fake. So so it then resets GA across the board. It's a thing that I think I've only really seen Webbo do. He does that, and then he needs your body. So one, it drains your stamina. Two, the way the neon on your belly works, it means you can't transition upwards. So all he has to do is pre-deny to the side, to either side instead of up, and then suddenly it's a very difficult position to be in unless you can somehow build GA. But by the time you build GA, you've already taken like 3 to 4, 5 elbows, and it's just mentally horrific to fight. It's a good game plan. I mean, we definitely saw that though, Swag. He beat a really top contender in Drews, for God's sake. Like, is it cheesy? Is it scummy? Maybe. Is it effective? And is it
all right?
Good? I would argue
All
it
right.
is.
I wasn't gonna give him scumbag of the week after I saw him do it just once. I wasn't not gonna give him scumbucket of the week after that first one. But when he then attempted, let me turn my notebook around. When he attempted to do it again in the second round against Oladipo, I said, "Oh no, I think Webbo only knows how to do side control." And I was speechless at the fact that Webbo only wanted to be in side control. Understandable after his first victory, but like Oladipo just like had a crazy submission. Why do you even want to go down to the ground with him? You would think that you would try to work him in a different way than where he has already showcased tonight that he is fabulous. You shouldn't want to prove that you're better than him where he has already proven that he's good. Because everybody doubted Webbo going into this. I didn't. I was like, Webbo's gonna do something cheesy. Webbo's gonna figure it out. I know Webbo. I was like, Webbo's gonna figure it out. He didn't figure it out, which moves Oladipo into the third round.
Yeah, Webbo played really well though. I like, yeah, call it cheesy, but it's a respectable. Okay, maybe respectable isn't the word, but it was a legit way of doing things that I personally had no issues with. It's beatable for no extent, as you saw by Ali doing it. It's just the current grappling seems to be you can either play like there's two type of styles of grappling you can go for, either relentlessly, consistently, and forcing your opponent into positions where they have to actually think about it carefully, or you go for the more jiu-jitsu based where you're looking more at the sub game, and both of them take a different type of brain power. And especially for fighters, if you can't cope with the first type of grappling where it's just relentless over and over again, you're going to end up getting yourself caught like Webbo found against Driz and stuff like that.
Yeah, nah, for sure. And moving forward, there was a lot of other amazing round one performances. Like Dizinho actually established himself as a very talented fighter amongst the Xbox roster, and Fadinator had a flawless round one confident performance and got a second round KO victory. Uh, moving into the second round, mix-ups dog walked Jinja. I actually have written down here, "Oh, Jinja, what happened?"
Leave
Um,
Ginger alone.
I love Jinja, but like, what happened? I think he need I think the PlayStation copy needs to come soon for Jinja. And then Boss Man versus Easy Work. Easy won in the second round via TKO, making his name make more sense. Really, it was an easy fight for him against Boss Man, who Boss Man's an incredible fighter. A lot of people thought it was going to be Boss Man versus Fad in the finals,
hmm
including Fadinator, and Boss Man got absolutely outclassed by
It
Easy Work.
was, yeah. I mean that type. I mean, what you've just said there, of thinking it's going to be Boss Man versus Fad in the final, kind of encapsulates the entire GP. It was like, okay, so we think Fad's going to get to the end, but we're kind of unsure, and we haven't got a clue who he's going to be fighting because everybody seems to be a killer. Like everybody, including the late minute replacements, which included Webber, by the way. Webber was a very last minute replacement, and then suddenly he was in, and then suddenly he managed to get to like round two and still pulled it off and stuff. Like across the board, everybody who competed, I can easily see like being in the top 15 by the end of the season. Like they all looked impeccable in their performances.
110%, especially Dizeno, which it was actually a very close fight against Fadinator in the second round. Dizeno versus
Mm-hmm.
Fad, who both come from the same team, FSK.
Yep.
Um, and it was a very good fight. It started quick, and it looked like Fadinator was on the ropes, and even the commentators were caught off guard when I believe it was Cyrus who was mid sentence saying, "What's Fadinator going to do to adjust?" As Fadinator adjusted to end the fight in
Yeah,
that
no,
very sentence.
I remember that part, and that you just from what you just said there, because I remember you on comments and stuff. It was like, okay, Fads probably lost a round. I remember the thought process was being, okay, Fads may have lost that round. He's going to make some big adjustments because this is the hardest fight he's had to date. And then suddenly, out of nowhere, Fad just kills Stroz. Like, full on walks him early in that second round, and that's just done. And that's why I think that's one of the reasons why Fad has always been as good as he is his ability to just quickly to be defensively sound, and even when he does lose a round, he doesn't lose it in ways that put him at a deficit per se. Coming into the next round, he loses it only by slight margins, and that allows him to have these quick comebacks to make these big adjustments in very easy and quick succession. I would argue as well.
No, it's never bad when Fad loses a round. And moving into the semifinals, we had Fadinator versus Ali, which is closer than Fadinator would like to think.
I had
Ali had
Ali
him on
win.
Ali had him on the ropes, and you weren't the only one. A lot of people had Ali winning. It was a very, very, very close fight.
Pretty sure I
And
shouted him to get bad down on the ground on comms as well.
yes, and you did, and he was getting very nice takedowns. He rocked Fad early,
hmm
and a lot went down in this fight to kind of prove that Fadinator he made Fadinator work late in the fight, and I reached out to Fadinator for a response, and Fadinator said, "I'm not surprised, motherfuckers. Deez is a great fighter. Me and Ali wasn't close." So Fad doesn't think it was a close fight. He might
um,
be the only one. Because he almost lost. He arguably should have lost if these judges didn't suck. Which moves us into the other semifinals fight, which was Easy Work versus Mix Ups, which was an incredibly close fight. And Easy Work ended up getting the win with Fedor,
hmm
but it was an incredible fight.
No, but I suppose that's. I mean, both of them were incredible fighters, and I think both of them were very close to having performance of the nights, pretty much. By the time the semis rolled around, it was like the question and performance of the night could have gone to anybody at that point because they all looked fantastic in every aspect. Easy Work especially did. That's how he managed to get that win over Mix Up. It was a tough
Easy
fight
Work
though.
is good.
He is. He's really good. He came around about the same time as Ali did into the UFC 4 was seen late into the last couple of seasons, if I remember correctly. And since then, they've just got better and better and better. And Easy Work, especially, as the fact he went to the finals, beat mix-ups, went through everything to only to just lose to Fad, definitely shows his ability there as well.
Yeah, no, for sure. And you beat me to it. Fatinator did win the Xbox Grand Prix and new and he beat Easy Work, which wasn't an easy fight for him at all. But it also brings the question on what if Trixie was there? What if Trixie was there on the other side of the bracket, and what if we saw Fatinator versus Trixie in the finals? Because as you know, Trixie was supposed to come into this as the champion, but Trixie was unable to make it to the Grand Prix, and that just kind of brings on the thought, like, is this a new and improved Fatinator we're seeing, or is his Aladipo fight really just a like an asterisk next to his name that it's the same Fat from UFC 4? This is still Trixie's division.
Maybe. We've got an entire season to go through that though. That's the thing. You remember, we're going to see an entire seasons of title fights, of defenses. Fad could theoretically get that title defense that Trixie had in UFC 4 in a very early season, UFC 5, make that run for it. We're going to maybe see that. Maybe we won't. I mean, there's a lot of good, great fighters for Fads to fight. You've only seen, 16 of the top guys within the Xbox division as well, Swaggy. So you do have to wonder how that's going to look coming in later into season as people learn more about the game, get more developed, and slowly start to progress meta. And also, we have updates. Like, for example, the stamina being more tuned and the tracking being fixed will definitely help competitive play.
Yeah, no, for sure. The bugs definitely aren't a help. We didn't see any crazy ones in the live card in the GP, thank God. But I did see a couple of people in general chat talking about bugs in their unaired fight, and I have my unaired fight recorded, and I got brought to the ground, put in full mount, and then it just absolutely zoomed out into the crowd and didn't zoom back in until his hand was getting raised. So
that's rough.
so good thing we didn't see anything like that on the live card. I would hate for that to happen to anybody on a live card. But yeah, like you said, the fixes are coming. And I just think the devs are on vacation right now in Mexico on all of our deluxe dollars. And that's why the fixes aren't coming quicker. But now we'll move into something that did come quick. Shout out to Doc. The PlayStation Grand Prix is all set and ready to go.
Yes, it is. It's a good GP. I mean, we'll have replacements as well on standby if needed. But I mean, you've got a lot of the big names from the end of last season. You have Robin, you have Vuck, you have Red Wolf, you have Pain, you have Versatile, you have Elite King. You have a lot of big names like in here, and then that's not even forgetting some of the former champions that have also managed to get them find themselves here, like Josh Ray, like and Storm. Sorry, my brain has decided to completely have a meltdown for a second. But yeah, former champs like Josh and Storm.
So that's gonna be a very good fight, Josh versus Storm. I'm excited to see Josh Ray compete again, but actually, who I'm excited the most to see compete in this Grand Prix is Rolling Thunder, who's
Oh god.
Rolling Thunder is Mr. Sprinkles, Mr. Sparkles,
Jesus.
and Sprinkle Winkles. Yeah, my guy. And I'm not sure if he's coming out in UFC 5. We haven't seen him compete live yet.
He was a lot
And
of spinning elbows and kicks, wasn't he?
Oh yeah, yeah. Me and him have the most fantastic fights, like
He's
10-star fights.
He must have a really interesting style now. It must be a lot of elbows.
It's all spins. It's still all spins. I spot him the other day. I love Rolling Thunder.
Is it still all spins?
Yeah, he loves the Rolling Thunder, and I love the cartwheel kick. That's why we get along so well.
Well then, I
That's
guess that's going to
that's
be an
my
interesting
guy.
time, especially
I
against a
can't.
B3 member of Sean Corkery.
I can't wait. And if I have to pick a possible scum bucket of the week for anybody, I would say it most likely will be Rolling Thunder. However, the last time we saw AKA Dave compete inside a primetime octagon,
Yeah.
he did get a scum bucket of the week because he was rude in the cage. He was very disrespectful. I didn't like it. So there's a lot of possible scum buckets of the week on here. Vuck's here too. However, I'm excited for this. I'm excited to see Samurai Robin come back. I'm always excited to see Robin compete. Robin actually dropped out of the Clash of Champions card because he had a legit fight. He took a legit fight short notice.
That's probably one of the best reasons that I think anybody's
like
ever given.
You other bums are just like you other bums are dropping out because y'all got work in the morning,
or you're ill, or stuff like that,
or you're ill, or COVID. This motherfucker went and beat somebody's ass with IRL leg kicks. He said, "Call this spamming." I hope he did.
I hope he did as well.
He's an absolute savage. I'm also excited to see John Africa back, and I really hope John Africa makes it far because John Africa talks a lot of shit, and I love shit talkers. It's my favorite thing.
Yeah, no,
in the world.
I'm pretty sure we got a video of him chatting complete shit on our TikTok as well. I think it was just as we were doing the title picture for the PS side at the very end of the season. He said in the video
against Robin.
He was talking some shit just because he really wanted that title picture and shit. I think Vuck won it or something.
Vuck beat him.
Yeah, I think it was Vuck beat him, and then they went on to compete. I mean, although everything, I do have to admit, the most interesting fight I'm going to see, and they are on complete opposite ends of the bracket, sadly, so it's going to be the case of are they going to be able to get there or not, would be seeing Robin versus Pain Part 3. Having that trilogy fight now onto the new game. Be really, really interesting. Just because I want to see how they match up, because the grappling is so much different.
So yeah, that would be exciting. You didn't let me finish though. We still got Dino and Ben Jammy. That is an exciting banger right there. Dino, who's always insulting me in somebody's Twitch chat. Shout out Dino.
What style does Dino play? Because I don't know.
I've never seen him fight. He talks all this shit. Because he talks all this shit and never fights. He just never shows up to fight. Mans is never fighting. I've never seen him fight before. He never fights.
I have booked Dino so many times. I think I've lost count at this point. He does consistently show. Even
I've never seen him fight. I'm not saying he don't show up. I'm just saying I've never seen him fight.
He's insane. That's all I'm saying.
I feel like I've never seen him on a card before. However,
the issue I have with Dino is I can never work out if he's a striker or he's a grappler. So he comes out one day, he comes out grappling. The next week, he comes out striking and brawling. It's a really weird mix with Dino, and
I've heard that before. I've heard that before as well. But yeah, I've never seen him fight because I feel like he's just always chatting shit, but never actually on the card. However, then you got Ben Jammy, who got subbed in the first round of the Xbox GP, and he's going against a possible grappler. So if Ben Jammy gets subbed in the first round of both GPs, that's got to be some kind of record.
Yes. Probably. He'll be probably the first person to get subbed on both consoles in that case. However, it's PS. It acts slightly differently. I haven't touched the game. I haven't got it yet on PS. But I remember UFC 4 playing slightly differently on PS. So it'll be interesting to see if that's going to be the same case. As well as the fact, as I've also mentioned, Dino, he comes out and does whatever the fuck does whatever he wants. He doesn't seem to have a consistent game plan, and he's all the more enjoyable to watch for it seems. Apart from the fact, if I remember correctly, Jay just calls him decisions. because he apparently always goes to decision on him correctly. That was the thing that happens as well. So,
I'm excited to finally see Dino fight. And then we got Pain
agree.
versus Versatile. That's gonna be a war. Versatile's a dog, Pain's a dog. That's gonna be a war. But moving in what the doc did say, Pain versus Robin is a possibility to see in the finals. However, they both have to get past a lot of killers.
Yeah, Robin's got to get past Josh Ray and Wordlife and Red Wolf and Vuck and Dave and Storm and Deathman. Yeah, that's
Yeah, and Pain's also got Versatile, Thunder, Dino, MG, Elite King, Ben, and Sean. So that's a lot of this is really full of 16 dogs over here. We got 16 absolute killers. And it's gonna be a lot of close fights. The first round. Actually, there might be a couple dog walkings in the first round. But
okay then. Who are Swaggy's picks for the GP then? Let's hear 'em.
My picks?
Yeah, go on.
To win the whole thing or just fight by fight?
Whole thing first, and then we can maybe discuss fight by fight, depending on your answers.
Whole thing, I have Samurai Robin winning the entire thing, which would be his. No, it wouldn't be his second GP win in a row. V Pain won the last one.
Yep.
But I Robin winning the entire thing. However, if we go fight by fight for just the first round, here are my hypothetical odds, right? We'll call them swag odds. Here they are.
I got for Swaggy Dr. Kush.
I got Samurai Robin as like a -500 against Deathman. No disrespect to Deathman, but you ain't him. You are not Samurai Robin. You're not backing out of your fights for IRL fights. This man got IQ. Last weekend while you were eating Doritos and licking the nacho cheese off your fingers, watching Primetime Xbox GP, Robin was kicking somebody's legs to oblivion. Deathman, I don't know you. I love you. I'm sorry. That was harsh. I got Deathman a +500. Now we got Vuck versus Dave. And the smart thing to say here is that Vuck's gonna absolutely wrestle bang him. Like all fight, every round. It's gonna be bad for Dave.
Dave has looked really good at making adjustments on the fly though.
But exactly what Doc said, Dave makes very good adjustments. I haven't seen him grapple in this game yet. Grappling has come easier to a lot of people in this game, so maybe Dave's a little bit better.
Is just ridiculously big. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
That's the thing I could bitch about all day on the grappling. It drives me
insane.
And
we all know what's up with Dave striking. Dave striking his pressure is very difficult to deal with. So I have this fight a lot closer. I have Vuck a -110 and I have Dave a -120, which makes them pretty much the same odds, which, you
50-50.
I wouldn't
could
touch.
Go either way then.
Now we got Red Wolf versus Word Life. I always think Word Life.
I don't know who wins that.
I always think Word Life and Easy Work are the same person. I don't know why. I think it's because their names aren't even close, but for some reason, Easy Work and Word Life just in my head is like, oh, that's the same name.
Like, I can't vocalize how you can see, but yeah, I can see how you could get those two words somehow mixed up, but also that is a bit insane.
Right now, Easy Work is so good that I'm just like, Word Life's gotta be that good. But John Africa, Red Wolf, just has a way to.
That's fight the night contender. That's what that's gonna be.
100%. He comes from the WR camp, the wide receiver camp, and
what?
It's a American football position. Okay. You get your mind out the gutter. And John Africa, his game planning is like no other. I've been on the other end of it. They know what you're gonna do before you do it in any situation, and it's kind of weird, like mind reading weird. However, I got John Africa, Red Wolf, as a -250 and Word Life as the underdog as a +110. I think that'll be a very close fight, but I also do think Red Wolf got the edge just off of IQ and game planning. Going into it, Josh Ray versus Storm. Storm got KO'd by Pain
But
in
Storm
the
also
last
beat
time we
Smudger.
saw him. In
Storm is
5? In
not in 5, but on 4.
well, this is 5. I know it's the same game. It's just a simple update, but
I'm just
this
saying, Storm has
is
got some
5.
notable names on record. There's a reason he's the former champ.
However, on 5, he got knocked out by Pain. So coming into this, Josh Ray, who knocked out Blackout, is very scary. However, Josh Ray also should have lost the Blackout, arguably. But he hung in there, did something we've never seen anybody do before. Come to the second round and absolutely dog walk him, mollywop him.
Basically, what you're saying is in fight number 3, Red Wolf versus World Life, you end up with Fight of the Night contender, and in fight number 4, you are followed by 2 people who won't stay down at any point and will just continue going non-stop. That's what you're telling me here.
I think 4 is going to be a war. I don't know why. I think 4 is going to be an absolute battle. Now, Storm's more of a grappler. However, Josh Ray is clearly a smart guy over here. I don't know how the grappling is gonna work. I'm envisioning and praying for a stand-up war with these two.
Yep.
And I have it close because they're both skillful, and I do think they're just gonna throw it all out there. I got -110, -110, absolute even odds.
Dudes.
No favorite.
Okay, then. And moving on to the next fight, you have MG versus Elite King.
So one time I can't remember what league, I can't remember where it was, but Elite King had to poop, and he was like, I have to do this fight first. So it's more like rewarding when I poop. Like, I won the fight, now I get the shit, right? Like, and I thought, and I was thinking the whole time, that's crazy ass logic. But after he won, and then like that poop was like his championship trophy. So this man's got it figured out. I have Elite King as a -500 favorite, and AKA MG as a +600 underdog, because Elite King's got it figured out. That man's a dog. Going into Dino versus.
Just heard that. I can't believe that, Swag.
Going into Dino versus Ben Jammy. Now I love Ben Jammy. Ben Jammy, a boxer. Ben Jammy, one of the best fight night players I've ever seen in my entire life.
Okay, Ben Jammy, are we on? Okay.
But this ain't fight night. Is it, Doc? This ain't fight night.
No, it isn't fight night, but it definitely feels like it sometimes with how the game plays at Rock'em Sock'em Robots. I'm still getting over the Elite King comment. I'm sorry. What the
It's
hell?
true. I witnessed it firsthand.
I have no. You witnessed it, okay? Then
not the poop, not him pooping, just him saying it. That he had.
And moving on.
Enough of this. Dino versus Ben Jammy. I got Dino winning that one. I've never even seen Dino fight before. I just know he a dog, and this is gonna be the
Swag.
Yeah, y'all don't say dog enough in the booth. No, but Dino's a dog. I think that, yeah, I'm gonna drop one. I think Dino is gonna win. He's the favorite. Let's call it a -250, because Ben still got that striking oomph to him. You know, that striking wisdom. He can outstrike anybody, and I think Ben is a pretty solid +150 underdog.
Yep.
Rolling into Wrinkle Sprinkles, if he
the fan favorite in this fight, I already know.
The fan favorite in this fight is Rolling Thunder.
Yeah.
110%. The fighter that should win is Sean Connery, and I have Sean Connery at a -200, and I got Thunder at a +200, because Thunder has beaten people that he shouldn't beat, because his striking so oddball. It's so weird, and And I fucking love the way he fights. Me and him fight very similar. We get called cheesers all the time because we just love to spin. We just fucking like to spin.
Yeah,
It's
no,
fun.
I'm
That's
genuinely really interested to see how Rolling Thunder come out. I haven't seen him play on this game, and seeing him from forward and seeing how 5 mechanics work, I'm expecting insanity from Rolling Thunder. And if we can see that for more than one fight on Saturday night, I'm going to be happy. But also Sean Corkery, very well-rounded striker across the board. So I'm definitely really interested in how that goes there.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be a fun fight. And then we got Pain versus Versatile, which is gonna be an absolute deadly dog walking war. I don't know. I have no idea who's gonna win this one. If Pain wins it would set up for Pain to be my second pick to win the whole thing, but Versatile could easily make it through this side of the bracket very easy too. I feel like it depends whoever wins this fight right
I
here.
think the people's instant picks going to be leaning towards Payne, only because of what he's done so in the past, being a champion, holding on to the belt, his experience on the ground, which does, for a point, translate over into UFC 5. However, it's going to be purely dependent on what picks are used with power. Because we have seen Payne do really well with a high-powered, boxing orientated fighter with Usman, and then also on top of that, it will also be the case of how well does he know the sub game, because he learnt the sub game, one of the joint subs on 4 really well. So now that all the subs are under one system, maybe he's gotten really good at that. Maybe he understands that back front, and so that's going to be another really interesting facet to his game that we're going to see probably on Saturday.
Yeah, no, for sure. But on the Versatile side, Versatile comes from the wide receiver camp, the WR camp, and I don't know what it's I just it's stuck in my head. I have to call it that. And the
For
WR
clarity,
camp.
it is what remains, by the way.
Oh,
Yeah. Did you
that's
not know
that's a
that?
clever that's a clever name.
You didn't know
Uh,
WR was what remains.
Way better than wide receiver. However,
Jesus.
However, they have amazing game planning over there. And
God, yeah, you really
Versatile
do.
has shown it before. He comes in, he clearly has a corner telling him exactly what to do, breaking down the other guy, telling him things that he is not seeing because he comes out with amazing adjustments. I'm not saying he's not capable of doing that himself, but it's very easy when you have a coach in your corner watching the movements of your opponent, telling you what to do next. And they all work very well together in game planning and cornering and stuff like that. They have an amazing system over there. And that's why I think Versatile has such a good shot against Pain, because Pain is more of a Pain's not easy to break down, but I feel like they're gonna have a decent time at breaking Pain down. And yeah, I have this as even odds as well at -110. And those are swag odds.
Fair dues. So I'm just trying to think if we've got any other WR. Oh, Vuck. Vuck is WR. So that's gonna be so him and Samurai end up in the second. That's gonna be a wild fight. I think that's it though. STK in Storm B3. We've got 2 B3 members in Word Life and Sean Corkery. I don't believe Elite King's part of the game. We've got 2 AKA members with Dave and MG. Josh Ray,
Isn't he EK?
Who?
Elite King? I thought that's what EK stood for. Elite Kings. And I thought he was like
Yeah.
the Elite King.
I don't believe Elite King is part of the Elite Kings. I think he's just a standalone king. It definitely ends up weird when you start doing naming conventions, that's for sure. But you are aware you have Elite Kings, the Kingsmen, and then the Flow State Kings as well, right? There's a lot
Are they
of
all?
and they're
Are they
all Xbox?
all?
Yeah.
No, but all formed by British players.
Well, KM was an offshoot of ICB, which was an American-based camp. Elite Kings was an American.
I thought. I thought
Energy.
KM stood for something else too.
What do you think KM stood
I
for?
can't say it.
Oh God. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, be slightly
it's
concerned.
It's not bad. Don't be concerned.
I am. Yeah, so you
It would
had
make Doc laugh
Kingsman.
again for way too long.
You had so Kingsman got formed after ICB collapsed the second time I think it was. I think I was part of that ICB as well. Then you had the Elite Kings, as I was saying, which is headed up by Bossman G. And he's American, so that's an American-based camp, I would argue. And what was the other one I said? The Flow State Kings. That's British. That was started by Ricardo.
FSK.
Yeah, FSK, the Flow State Kings.
Oh, that's rad. That's cool. A lot of camps out there.
Yeah, no, they are. I mean, you have NM Smudge's camp as well, which was No Mercy, and then you have NV.
I haven't seen a lot of NM members around.
Naz, Smudger, Mikey. I booked them all in the last 2 weeks, so they'll be about. I think several of them got a couple of wins on their belt, so they can probably be on PT 112 as well. So keep an eye on that for that, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. And then you got NV. They're brand new.
Yep, MB.
They have a lot of members.
Ginge, Robin, Concept.
Yep. Pabs.
Paps, yeah.
And then you got STK.
Storm, Reaper.
Yep.
Yep. B3, of
TST.
course. TST,
Lepo,
that's your camp.
Viper.
Yep.
Pug.
Yeah.
RKO or NWO. Have they been around a lot?
NWO I haven't heard of since like mid UFC 3 as a camp. I'm pretty sure they're dead now.
They made a massive comeback at the end of 4.
What, NWO Rowdy? I don't think so. I haven't seen NWO. I've seen a lot of camps around the place. It's kind of weird. ICB re-existed for a bit and then that died again.
Yeah, there's people in the TST Discord that just have ICB in their name because it's funny.
Lepo.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not shocked. Lepo. I mean, Lepo was part of ICB for so fucking long. Fuck's sake, I was at ICB at one point as well. Like, ICB was just one of those camps that everybody was in. It feels like from a certain time.
Like SVG. I was in SVG back in the day.
SVG's a really interesting camp. I'd love to see more of them compete. For example,
I would like to see
Lion on Twitter.
You saw that he figured out the bicycle kick, right?
Yeah.
You saw that?
We've completely gone off any point, but this is completely natural. Yeah. No, he's just flying through the air. It was absolutely mental, yeah.
I love this for him. I love that for him that he figured out how to do that because
such a UFC thing to happen is mental.
I love Lion. And they're all fucking cheesy, but I love
Lion
SVG.
used to compete. He did used to compete, but I think he stopped competing after he had one fight where his calf got banned. And he kind of didn't know what to do, and I think he just stopped competing for a bit. So that's the thing. It'd be really fun to see him again.
That's the thing with that camp is if calves aren't allowed in a league, you're really not going to see a lot of them compete because they're calves. Yeah, but I don't see why any of their calves would be banned. But
we don't ban calves. The only people who ban calves are the fighters if they wanted to, and that's just that.
True. But they're all calf fighters.
Yeah.
Like I've never seen except Nassim. Nassim's really the only one I've seen come out of SVG and not use a calf as often. He's fought here a bunch of times. I think he went on a run last season.
Makes sense. No, I mean, a lot of the SVG guys, they've been around the block a long time, so they know the score. And I mean, it'd be interesting to see if they compete. But I hope they don't. If they don't want to, then that's sometimes the way it goes. I mean, we've spent a lot of time ended up talking about camps. We've covered the scum bucket, swag bag.
Yeah. Fatinator. Congratulations. I guess. Well, Fatinator had like a lot of really good performances, and Fad is fighting with a chip on his shoulder in UFC 5. He's
You're not wrong.
He's fighting with a chip on his shoulder. You can really see that like it really irks him when the name Trixie is brought up or when or when people say that he's not the real deal because he only went on a season run, it really irks him. And you can see he's playing with that chip this time around. I'm really excited to see him go further into the season. And yeah, so in my swag bag of the week.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, he definitely at point does seem like he's got a chip on his shoulder. I think it makes him a better fighter, though. Genuinely, I
Yeah,
feel
no, for sure.
like it's one of those points of contention of do you play the heel side or do you play the face? And I think at this point, Fad's happy to play either side. He just wants to belt and he wants to get those wins, and that's entirely respectable. That's what you want to see as a champion. You want a champion who's looking to defend, who's looking to put on that just persona and go, "I'm the champ. I don't give a shit. I'm going to cause some utter havoc." And Fad currently seems like the type of man, but he's got some contenders to fight for later down the line. So it's going to be really, really interesting seeing how that develops over the next season.
Yeah. Yeah, man, there's some fucking dogs in that division. Very happy to see how it unfolds.
Well, then. We've been going
I think that's it.
Yeah, I was going to say, we've been going about 46 minutes. We've talked a lot. We've mentioned the GPs. We've mentioned the PlayStation GPs. Yeah.
We did good. We did everything banged out. Nice conversation. This Saturday, tomorrow.
Yep.
Because tomorrow
we're
we got
recording
the
this on
PlayStation.
Saturday. That's why we're a bit confused.
we got the PlayStation Grand Prix. So you make sure you tune in PlayStation Grand Prix 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time. 8:30 GMT. Expected to run a little late. If there's one thing the primetime guarantee can guarantee, that we are going to be at least 5 minutes late. However, we'll be there with a banger always. Also, make sure you check out all of the other primetime content, the Kush Corners, and the Fight of the Nights, the full fights coming out, everything like that. Check Doc out on social medias, and also check me out. I am live on Twitch every day.
Also our TikToks, and make sure to follow and subscribe on our YouTube to catch more content like this whenever we get around to posting it. And we should hopefully over the next few weeks be starting to have a more consistent content schedule, so you should start seeing that as well. But with all that being said, as Swaggy also posted, catch him out on Twitter, on Twitch. This guy's a madman fully the way through. That's just the way it goes. And he's like, if you like this content, you'll love him on Twitch. That's the way it is. But with that being said, we're going to leave you lot to it. Make sure to catch PrimeTime tomorrow. Adios.